Apparently, I have to re-record this part because I didn't add an intro. But hello, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new video. Hope you're doing good today. Now, just like in the previous video, I said I was going to make a part 2 or a sequel to the Cinder situation, reading her document, reading her side of the story. So we're going to read Cinder's document here. I'm going to read it myself and give my personal opinion about what she says. And if it's decent, okay. If it's not, and okay. But we're going to see what's going to happen here. So let's go ahead and get right into this document. I hope you enjoy. There's nothing I can say to make this better, but I'll try my best to properly convey my feelings, frustrations, and mistakes. I like to explain my point of view and apologize to each party affected. How many pages is this? 7 whole pages. Redacted has been my co-content creator since I began making content, managing all aspects of what I do, and being a major part of why I'm here. We have also been in a relationship since the start of my endeavors. It's no secret that many YouTubers choose to keep their public and personal lives separate, and I'm no different. As of yesterday, he is no longer working with me, and I have not extensively discussed any of this with him. Where our personal situation goes from here will be figured out between us privately. I never intended to mention us publicly, but given that the claims are out there, I want everyone to know I'm taking this seriously. After years of working on everything together, his hyper business oriented outlook warped my view of what it is I should be doing and what should be important to me as I navigate this career path. I have a terrible work-life balance as it is, and being around projects and streams all day, every day, made me lose sight of the point. It took all of this happening to me to realize this behavior isn't normal or healthy, and it's not an outlook I want to have. This doesn't absolve me of the things I've willingly done or went along with, or the way I've treated people who were fully undeserving. So I can see right here where she says, his hyper business oriented outlook warped my view of what it is I should be doing. So that sentence right there basically tells me you, like, in a way, you blame him for why you see things as it's just business, because that's what you told an analyst, that it's just business. So being around this hyper business oriented outlook, it warped your view of what you should be doing. So being around him made you say that, oh, it's just business, nothing personal, something like that. So in a way, it's like right there, like, okay, you're kind of saying that it's his fault. In regards to Nanolis, for the majority of time working with her, Red was the one almost solely doing the communication about new plans and negotiations through his private DMs. Nano had a project server we were all a part of where all the actual art and models we worked on, but the conversations were focused around the work itself. I was not fully aware of the extent of Red's manipulation over Nano's commission decisions, and I should have been more diligent in my oversight. But that's a problem though, because in Nano's last document, she said that Red speaks on your behalf. And to confirm that, yes, that does happen, she did ask you, that's what she said in the document, that she asked you that, okay, everything that's Red telling me, is this the same way that you think of it as well? And it's like, yeah, that's the same thing I think of it as well. I wish she would have showed those DMs in the screenshot so we actually get to see what word for word Cinder said. But since we don't get to see that, I'm just going to take Nanolist's word for it, that she did say and confirm that everything that Red was saying was basically what you were thinking as well. It's just that he was the one, since he's like your manager, because that's the job of like a manager of somebody. Like they the ones that do most of the talking. So of course, Red is going to be doing his job being a manager. So he's going to be doing most of the talking. But also as a job of a manager, they're going to have to console with the person that they're managing. They're going to have to talk to them and say that, hey, is this what you want to do? Like, are we doing this? It's going to be like this. It's going to be like that. Then if the other person says, yeah, let's do it like that. And then like, okay, the manager puts it forth to other people, making like, okay, I talked with my client and my client said, yeah, we're doing this. So I'm letting you know that, yeah, we're doing this. So to say that I was not fully aware of the extent of Red's manipulation, like you were not fully aware of what he was doing. And I think Bao even talked about it in the comments section, saying like, okay, there's no way that you didn't even know. But yeah, she mentioned that there's no way that you didn't know about the whole thing happening, because again, if he's your manager, then he will console with you to be like, hey, do you want to hear what's going on? Hear about this? And also, since he's like also your boyfriend at the same time, yeah, there's absolutely no way you didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm pretty sure you were fully aware. You just didn't really hop in and say, hey man, let's not do this, okay? Because it's gonna look bad on me and also it's bad on her. So let's not do this, all right? Every time I had been told that Nano had agreed to work on a new commission with me, it had been willingly and with excitement. From my point of view, it was that she genuinely wanted to be working on these things. I wanted to work with Nano as much as I possibly could, making her art the face of my brand. We had to come to the conclusion that it'd be in my best interest to talk with Nano about making more time for my projects by negotiating with her to cut out other work. But why? That's the problem there. And also you know that you're not the only one that she does art for. You're not the only one that she's done models for. So when you tell her to not do any other work, whether it's you or Red, whoever, but Red speaks on your behalf, so this is what you're thinking too. If you tell her that, no, you're not going to do any other artwork for anybody else, you only do artwork for me, that not only puts some stress onto her, but it also screws over the other people that were hoping to get some commissions done by her, because Silvervale said that there was a special model that was supposed to be made for her birthday, but that shit got canceled. And now this is the reason why it got canceled, because you just wanted all her shit to yourself, knowing fully well that she does this for other people. So you're not the only one that she does this for, and you're not the only one that she should do this for. She does this for lots of different people, and you know this, and you try to gatekeep that shit, keep it to yourself, and now it's all gone for everybody. This was wrong for us to push onto her, and it was wrong to the other creators who wanted the chance of working with her. There was one specific creator we were responsible for naming and pressuring Nano to reconsider projects with, not an entire list. That's a fucking lie, because I saw the screenshots. That's a fucking lie, because I saw the screenshots. There were more than one person that Red said to not make any art for. So this is a fucking lie. This is a lie. And even if you had one specific creator, which is probably Silvervale, but even if you had one specific creator, it's still fucked up for you to tell this person to not make any art for this specific person. Why you shouldn't do it, I don't know. Like, maybe because you don't like them. That's probably the most logical reason, that, okay, you don't like the person, that's why you don't want them to do any work anymore. But that's an absolute fucking lie. Saying that there was only one specific creator we were responsible for naming and pressuring Nano to reconsider projects with. No, that's an absolute fucking lie. There were multiple names I saw on that screenshot, multiple names. Even if it's one name is bad enough, but there were multiple fucking names. Hence why all of them came out with their documents. So this is a fucking lie. That's a lie. You're lying right here. Not an entire list, bro. We literally saw an entire list. Why are you lying? In her own volition, Nano canceled a large portion of her model commissions last September. However, the claim that I was just using her is wrong. I've always treated Nano with respect and as my friend. So in her own free will, she canceled a large portion of her commissions. But it's like, you guys pressured her to do that. That's the thing. That's why she did it. And when I saw the screenshots, I saw that how Red found the shit funny, that she canceled the other artworks that she was supposed to do. So you guys pressured her to do this. So is it technically in her own free will that she did it? Okay, yeah. But sometimes people's free wills can get hijacked with a lot of mental pressure to make them do things that they wouldn't do. Because when the more that you pressure somebody, the more that it would get under their skin to make them do something that they normally wouldn't do. You still play a part in this, making her cancel her other shit. So don't act like that had anything to do with it. I did give her a lot of work, and we did everything we could to accommodate her schedule if she needed more time or a break, and even helped her with her own projects payments multiple times. I've invited her on my stream. I've sent her my merch and things she's made for me, and I've always open to talking to her about things outside of our projects and the instances we could message each other. Regarding the exclusivity deal made between them, I had no part in the direct negotiations of their eventual agreement, and I had no knowledge about and Cotton being included in the list. If I had known my friends were included, I would have said something to put a stop to it. I was only aware of it being about one person who I was unfairly pursuing, which was obviously Silvervale there. And I did see Silvervale's video where she did talk about it, and she was crying on stream, basically saying that she doesn't know you, she didn't she doesn't want you to be around her. She doesn't want to be around you. She doesn't want to be friends and all that. You were basically trying to leech off of her, since because she's a very popular indie VTuber. You try to leech off of that. You try to leech off of that to get something out of her, because that's what lots of creators do. That when they see someone in their own space that's bigger than them, they want to try their best to get to know them. Like, this happens in a lot of industries. They want to try to get to know them better, because they know that once we like become at least acquaintances, but if we can get up to like a friends level, this person will be able to like sponsor me, feature me, collab with me, and it boosts my status as well, just being associated with this person. So that's why you were pursuing a lot with Silververa, because you wanted that attention as much as she had, but you were jealous that you weren't getting it. When Nano messaged me about this agreement almost a month later, I was under the assumption that this was only about Silvervale. I was upset, and my initial messages to her were very guilt trippy, but I wasn't going to force Nano to do anything she wasn't okay with, and tried reassuring her that I was okay with her decision. Nano had also never come to me as seriously and professionally as her document was looking to address the issues she had with either of us or to terminate our partnership. I had no idea there was even a conversation about Shy Lily recently between Red and Nano until reading her document. It's true, I had confided in Red that lately I hadn't been hearing from Lily like I had in the past, and was worried something was wrong. But that's as far as it went, and he took it upon himself to try digging for more info. And I think she even commented about that on your post, talking about how there's no way that you didn't know that was not a part of the conversation. Because again, if Red does speak on your behalf of things, and which is confirmed, then you would have known slightly that, yeah, she is mentioned. But it could be possible that there were other names mentioned that she didn't know. It is possible, but seeing how you did had a list of names to not do commissions for, then there was no way that you didn't know about who was a part of that list. Especially, there's no way you didn't know the names when you know that the person that you're commissioning from has also done work with them in the past too. So there's absolutely no way that you wouldn't have known any of the people that she couldn't commission, because she has commissioned with them before. I was never even aware Nana was ever to work on a model for other of my friends, Gary. I do not condone anything about what Red said about Bao in these DMs either, and him using we and our in this context is abhorrently incorrect, and I believe was done to gain greater credibility behind what he was saying. Yes, Red and I were initially upset when Bao hired my editor, and I took it personally when I shouldn't have. It felt as if maybe my content wasn't good enough, or like I wasn't paying enough for his work. But I accepted and was happy for him for getting the bag and supporting one of my friends at the same time. And yes, I was also upset with Sack, the Boss Rush music video editor, had he told us he wouldn't be working with any future projects with us and would be instead working exclusively for Bao. Yeah, but this is the thing that I kind of don't understand, because I have seen like about Sack, and also I did see about her editor as well. I'm pretty sure they have done other projects for other people. So like when it comes to like getting editors, I'm not exactly sure about that in the VTubing space. So there's probably like certain VTubers have their own personal editors and something that they pay and all that, which is all right. But if there's an editor who is known for doing other kinds of work for other VTubers or any other content creator in general, then you shouldn't feel upset when somebody wants to work with this content creator or decides to even go exclusive with this content creator, because there's just probably something like with Sack, there's probably something that about Bao that just made him want to go exclusive with her and not with you. And he was already doing music video work for lots of other people, because I've read his document as well. I've seen his screenshots. It tells me that he does shit for other people. You're not like the only one he has to do things for. So I don't know why you feel this sort of entitlement that there's a specific editor, they did such a great job on your music video, but now you want to keep them, and when they go out to find some other place to go, that offends you. But Red got it in his head that it was Bao's fault that it happened, and seemingly held a grudge against her for it. He was very passionate about Boss Rush and the potential future projects around him, but he told me without a music video editor as talented as Sack, the future projects wouldn't reach the same heights. So he created this headcanon that's laid out in those DMs. I wasn't convinced this was the case, but it's my fault for never speaking with Bao about these directly to clear things up and letting it spiral to the point it got to. Every comment here about her own music, guilt tripping, and claims about our shared feelings towards her are disgusting, and I honestly don't know why he thought this way about my close friend beyond the resentment over those two things, or why it was worth sabotaging her over. The It's Just Business screenshot of my DMs with Nano's document was from November of 2023, and I'll go into my thought process of everything I said here. What Red was trying to explain to Nano is that if everyone has a model by her, then the initiative value of her models overall are diminished by there being an oversaturation of that type of model out there. If everyone in the world had a VTuber model done by her, then the value of her model wouldn't be the same as if it was only a handful of them, which he viewed as a negative for me. I understand where he's coming from with this, but in the VTuber space, this isn't something we should have pursued. Nana has an amazing skill where she's able to draw each of her VTuber children uniquely, so I was never upset seeing new model siblings. In many cases, I was there cheering them on at their debuts and looking to collab with them as sisters when I could. Me saying it's just business was referring to my acceptance of Nanos' business decisions, whether she choose to work with me or not. This was not in reference to someone's model being canceled, further explaining to her that it's okay if she chooses not to work with me. I can understand where the next part can sound manipulative, but my intention was to reminisce about the journey we had together up to this point, since at this time I wasn't sure if this is where Nano and I would stop working together as frequently as we had been, and I have to look for a new model artist. I then encourage her to work on projects she's excited about while I talk with Red to find a project that will work with her schedule. When talking about Silvervale, I need to start at the beginning. Before I was Sinder, I was a pink cherry blossom girl named Tashi that did ASMR content. When the VTuber boom happened in 2020, I knew I wanted to join in. Red and I contacted an artist in October, and there was set to start my VTuber design in December. In November of that same year, Silvervale revealed her Sakura Wolf redesign. I had heard of Silvervale earlier that year, but I didn't watch her streams at all. We knew we had to pivot before we were stuck with a design that would just be a copy of one of the most popular VTubers at the time. Like I've explained many times on my stream, I knew I wanted to be a wolf girl, so I mixed my love of Okami and metal music into the design and came out with a hellhound. My name was originally going to be Ember, but Red came up with the name Sinder since it was a mix of sin and cinder, both hell and fire themed. It was only a coincidence that it ended up being similar to Silver. I was genuinely interested in pursuing a friendship with her and drew fan art of myself of us together. And I think she mentioned that in the stream before of the Cindervale hashtag, and she said and she said in the stream that she wasn't aware of that, nor she even asked for that shit to happen. So if you were going to make, like, making fan art is one thing, but if you're going to make like some sort of shipping tag of like, oh, us together and all that, especially when she doesn't even know who you are, I think it's something you need to reconcile with her. Like, talk to her about like, hey, is it okay if I make this ship right here? And it's like, she'll probably say no, because it's like, I don't really know you at all, so it's gonna be kind of weird to make this ship tag and you trying to frame us like, oh, we're best friends, we're besties or something, but we're not actually besties at all. I don't even know you, I don't even want to talk to you. I think that was a problem, and Silvervale did address that she wasn't aware of that, and she didn't even want something like that to happen. She didn't ask for that. So making that Cindervale hashtag, that's something you should have like asked for her first. Making fan art is one thing, but when you try to ship each other something like that, and especially make it big, you're gonna need to like ask some permission on that, because she didn't ask for that. On the other hand, Red was in my ear the whole time saying how great working together would be, since again, he's been in the business oriented side of my brand. Since I started streaming, I have been ruthlessly compared to Silvervale, being called the discount version of her. I was accused of copying her design, copying her personality, and even copying her laugh of all things. And there was a large number of people who were diehard believers in the fact that I stole all of these attributes maliciously for my own gain, citing the art I posted of us together, calling her an inspiration, when in reality this was referring to the decision to become a hellhound. The only time Silverveil was mentioned in the original designing of my character was when we explained why we were pivoting to something else, and there were no references of her character involved. I grew more and more resentful of Silver over time, between the constant belittling of myself and controversy around my first waifu cup and other incidents, even though she herself never interacted with me directly. But seeing what Silverveil said in her document and how respectful she was to answer in your DM, I felt like this was something that you could have told her about, like, hey, your fans are harassing me. They're calling me the discount you. They're claiming that I copied your design. They're claiming that I'm copying your flow and all that. Can you please address to the people that I didn't do that? I didn't copy you. I'm not trying to be like you. I'm just trying to be like myself. I still love you though. You're still cool and all that. That's something you could have said in the DMs, that you could have told her about this problem, that her fans were basically fucking with you, and you could have addressed it. And then she'd be like, probably go on stream or tweet about it saying that, hey guys, leave Sinder alone. She didn't copy me. There's nothing wrong here. We're cool with each other. She didn't do nothing. So please stop the harassment, stop the comments, stop doing all that. And that's also another thing I still don't understand with VTubing culture, how lots of people, it's like their instinct is to go and fucking harass somebody instead of actually taking the time to actually think that, okay, maybe it's some sort of coincidence. Because I said it in my last video that people have very, very similar fucking designs in these space, very, very similar concepts. So I don't know why lots of these fans act like, okay, this is an original design here, and then this person over there, oh, you're copying this person over here. I feel like the only reason why they would say something like that is because this person that they like is actually popular. They're popular, they're famous, so they got a design that everybody fucking loves. So when they go and see somebody else with something relatively similar, they will go and say that, hey, you're copying our queen over here. Please stop it, or else we're gonna dox you and shit. Like, if this was going on with Sinder, okay, I can understand, and I'm sorry that happened, because I feel like lots of these VTubers, especially the popular ones, they don't really even address their fans at all. They don't say anything. They just allow shit to fucking happen, and then people get harassed and shit. Like, actually get up and say something, especially if you have like a large following. Get up and say something. Tell your fan base that, hey, chill the fuck out, because there's people out here that aren't really doing that shit. Like, how many people out here are designed as demons? How many people out here are designed as as Nekos? How many people out here are designed as dragons? How many people out here are designed as witches? How many people out here are designed as literally any fucking anime stereotype? Like, it's all over the space, everywhere. It's all over the place. So complaining a lot about this person got this design here, this person got this design here. I get there were times where somebody can like blatantly like trace a design, detail for detail, color for color, clothing for clothing. Like, I get when somebody does something like that, but when somebody just looks somewhat the same, it's not that big of a fucking deal. But you guys make it a big fucking deal for whatever fucking reason. And it may sound like I'm taking up for Sinder right here. I'm not trying to be on her side, but I can understand people fucking harassing you, claiming that you're copying some shit, when it's most likely it ain't no fucking copy. It's just some typical shit that everybody fucking has, but apparently it's copying. Hell, it's like when you go to a store, buy some new shoes, buy some new pants, buy a new shirt. You walk out, you're wearing that shit, and then you see somebody across the street wearing the exact same shit, somebody you've never even seen before, and then that person is going to be claiming, hey, why are you copying my shit? Why are you copying my flow? What are you talking about? We literally got the same shit from the same store. So what are you talking about? I'm copying your flow. We got all this stuff from the same store, the same brand, the same product. So there's no way I'm copying you. There's no way it's a copy when there's like when everybody has the same shit. So that's one of the problems that I have in this community, where it's like stop going so far with it. But anyway, let's keep reading. It was also that fact that made me insecure, like I wanted to know if she believed of these things or not. It really felt as if she didn't like that I even existed in the same space. So at the point I was working with Nano consistently, we brought up not to make any more models for her. If a VTuber model is how everyone recognizes you, then it'd be harder to compare us directly if we no longer look alike or have shared that similarity. Or you could have just went to a different VTuber artist. That's what you could have done. You could have went to a different artist, because if that really was the case, then you could have went to a different artist to really separate yourself. Like go to a different artist, get a different art style that would truly separate yourself from her if this is how you feel. And also another thing is you should have contacted Silver directly and told her about what is going on, because I saw her document how she talked to you and was very respectful about it. You should have talked to her first about this whole thing before you just decided to, oh, okay, I'm just gonna tell my artist to not do any art of her. So like it was two options. Either you talk to her about it or you just find yourself a new artist. It was one of those two. But you chose the third route and you did this shit, and now here we are. It was a wrong and selfish decision, but it made me feel better, and that's why it was a constant topic with Nano. Red pushed this harder than I ever did because he knew how it affected me for years, and no matter what the outcome was, I wasn't going to walk away from working with Nano. Silver was completely undeserving of this treatment, and it was my own insecurities that led me to making this choice. I became unapologetically evil towards her due to no direct action of her own. There's no excuse for any of this. Moving on from Silvervale, let me talk about Spike. Once again, I had no involvement or knowledge of Red bringing up Spike to Nano in 2023. My own personal involvement with excluding someone suspicious from working with Nano was Silver. My design sheet and outfit were finished and made public at the very start of 2021. The first thing she mentions is a debut teaser in 2022 that was apparently posted on the same day as her original debut, which I honestly don't know if at the same time this was intentional or not. I don't know when I first discovered Spite, and it could have been after she debuted. When I first debuted, I was very possessive of my design details. I had it made a year and a half since my design sheet was finished and public to having a full VTuber debut, as I watched everything grow and change from the sidelines, and I didn't want anyone else to capitalize on my concept before I could. Soon after my original debut, I remember Spike getting an update to her model that made it seem like she more closely resembled me, including fire added to her model. Without evidence, I saw it and I thought she must have copied me, but I never did anything about it other than voice my frustrations to Red. I didn't want to start drama with anyone, and I didn't have ownership over fire as a design detail. The references for the ripped shirt and shorts outfit on my bikini model was given to Nano in June of 2022 with the purpose of having a cover-up outfit that would be safe for Twitch. The merch art she's referring to was designed around my concept of my fire changing blue. The fact that the rest of the art was grayscaled was the artist's choice, since it was going into the back of the hoodie, and I didn't have a say, or at least I didn't counter that being the final decision. Now I can see that being a possibility, that the references, the designs, the ripped shorts and all that, the goth look, when I saw it, it's like, okay, like they look similar. Yeah, like I wouldn't probably say like it's a copy, like like Cinder copied on Spike, but it's probably something different, man. It's probably just a huge coincidence. She has to do something with these insecurities. If she sees something that somewhat resembles her, and like somewhat that resembles her model, and like, oh damn, did this person copy me? You could have at least DM the person and talk to them and say like, hey, I like your model and all that, but did you take some sort of influence from my design? You know, like, because I see we got some similarities here and there. And if they say no, this is completely mine, but I like to see that our models have very similar designs, then it's like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. They didn't copy you, but you didn't decide to talk with anyone. You only voiced your frustrations to your boyfriend, and your boyfriend took that shit way too seriously, and now that's why he told Nano not to make any more models for the specific people. There was no intention to deliberately look like Spite in this piece. Unfortunately, both my Angel and Sleepy outfits being similar outfits to Spite has done in the past was just a coincidence. I had always planned to one day make an Angel counterpart to my Demon outfit when it was being made in 2023, and my original riff sheet laid the groundwork for that idea. Yeah, when I saw those two pictures, like, I'll probably give Cinder this, they didn't look very similar. Like, it is like I couldn't find like, okay, like where's the similarity there? Like, where there's the instant that Cinder copied that, I couldn't find that, because they didn't even look anything like even 1% alike. Like, okay, there's like similar coloring or something, but like other than that, it's like I don't see no similarity. So probably this isn't something that Cinder actually copied. It's probably, yeah, probably that was just a coincidence right there. I never liked theming anything around my brand in a religious light, so I chose to make my angel form more Greek Valkyrie than biblical, which also gives it a similar look to my demon form. The sleepy outfit was a last minute decision to pivot from a fully new 3.0 model because I had the opportunity to work with gamer subs on an AFK flavor. Fight should have never received the hate comments over her outfit or any of the comments comparing us, belittling her because of my existence, and I never advocated for anyone to do so, especially given my experience. Fight also brought up another creator who reached out to her about their experience with me, and I can only assume it was Nyan Tales. They're an ASMRs who at one point posted a Hellhound OC of their upcoming ASMR videos, and it was undoubtedly created using me as a reference. This was right after my debut, and like I said, I was very protective of my design elements being unique to me, and I overreacted. Shortly after, I apologized and they agreed to adjust the character design, and I thought the matter was settled. At the very start of my online career, I was a GFE and somewhat. What is GFE? Oh, oh, okay, okay, girlfriend experience. Okay, weird, but okay. At the very start of my online career, I was a GFE ASMRs. Before I started my channel, I had gotten into listening roleplay audios myself. I had always been a shut-in throughout high school and college, and I wasn't happy with where my life and relationship were at the time. After uploading my first few audios, my channel started growing fast. This was the first time I was inundated with so many people wanting to know me and talk to me, and I got lost in the excitement of it all, not fully coming to terms with these messages being because of the kind of content I was making. I was immature and inexperienced with how to conduct myself online. I never had many IRL friends, and I met Rain doing ASMR. I quickly became comfortable chatting with him about everything, divulging my grievances about my personal life when I shouldn't have. I cheated on my boyfriend with Rain in these conversations, flirting and sexting. I used Rain for emotional comfort and sexual fantasy while I let my real life relationship collapse. It was about my dissatisfaction with my personal life and escaping into messages with someone who else I found through content focused around GF and BFRB. It was never about climbing the ladder with Rain, and I find that being his takeaway from why I moved on baffling. By the time I was ready to debut as Sinder, I wanted to leave that in the past. Still to this day, I regret my decisions and have been living with it since. I was lucky to be able to mend my relationship after this. Lastly, I want to address Peaches. This is a very big problem that I have, and I'm sure many others in my position do too. At the end of the day, I am one person. I am one person working on multiple projects with multiple companies, talking to dozens of people, and streaming for hours almost every day. I've never had a big social battery, and I get tired very easily when interacting with people. I haven't had much energy at all over the past year, leading to me taking frequent naps. I've rarely been able to keep up with my closest handful of friends on a frequent basis, let alone everyone else. Red has always been a big help in keeping up with things, but he doesn't do everything. I'm so sorry I made you feel forgotten, Peaches. I've always cherished your friendship, and I was always incredibly excited to meet you in Paris. I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me, and I've never thought to purposely drop you just because I could. I'm sorry. I know I've made a lot of people feel forgotten or ignored. It's so easy to get caught up in the projects or what I'm doing while I have the energy to do it, and people fall by the wayside. I understand the feelings of those who resent me over this, and all I can say is I'm sorry. I don't deserve to be able to contact everyone involved directly to personally apologize, so I'll do it here in the chance they read it. To Nano. I'm so sorry I let things get to this point or even entertain the thought of you working exclusively with me. That's not fair to you. I wouldn't be here without you, and I wouldn't have been able to do most of what I've already done without you. I felt overly attached to our friendship over the past 4 years, and I loved your work so much that I wanted to make myself exclusive to your art and should have never sought those feelings to be replicated. Everything you ever worked on for me was always so perfect, and I lost sight how everyone else around me would have felt. I had no intentions of pressuring you into anything anything, but looking back on my clouded judgment, I can see how my messages felt that way. When I talked about how my models helped you improve, I meant that as looking back on how far we've come together. We've been friends for so long and cheered each other on when we both started growing and getting more opportunities like plushies, figures, etc. You had been my exclusive artist for full live 2D models for the majority of my time as a VTuber, and of course I would have been sad if you didn't want to continue that relationship, but in all our other private DMs, I was okay with you ultimately doing what was best for yourself. I saw you as someone I trusted and loved and wanted to make sure you were still taking care of yourself with all the projects you took on, mine or otherwise. I never saw you as just a business partner. I thought I was reassuring you that I'd always be understanding if you wanted to move on to other projects. I genuinely appreciate our friendship. I always saw you as a close friend, and I'm sorry for what I put you through. Now, it is a huge possibility because I am a believer in the possibility that some people could take things the other way based on what people say. That's why someone like me I would like to try to be careful of the things that I'd say, because I don't want someone to hear something that I say and they take it the wrong way and it's like, no, that's not what I meant. So it is possible that Sinder didn't mean to like, yeah, I want you to stay exclusively with me, stay with me, never go to anybody else. And it's possible that Red just did a little bit too much. And even though Nanalis did say she did confirm that, yeah, Red does speak on her behalf, maybe not all the time he does. Maybe he was actually, at the time he was talking to her, maybe he was actually speaking on his own behalf. He wasn't speaking on Cinder's behalf. But then again, we will never know the actual true full story. But there is that possibility. There is always that possibility. To Bao. Since the start, I've always admired you and how genuine you've always been to everyone. I wouldn't be here without you either. I'm disgusted with myself for buying into the narrative that my friends were competition. I've never had such genuine friends in my life, especially with you. We've gotten to know each other so well online and in person. You've already been through so much, and the last thing I want to do is cause more harm, but I did. I'm sorry for not reaching out sooner about these ideas that were put into my head. I wish we would have been able to talk about this too. I didn't know about the severity of things that had been said and theorized about my own friends behind my back until now. It's my fault for not realizing the things Red was saying about you. The countless friendships I've made here within the last several years mean so much more to me than him and the business side of things and his way of thinking. No amount of popularity or money means more to me than the relationships I've built in this community. I've always been myself, whether that be on stream or in person, and I hope the friends I've made can understand that I never condone this behavior or any of the things that were said about my friends. I've always wanted everyone around me to thrive and find happiness. I cannot stress enough how disappointed I am that I didn't see this sooner, until I got into a breaking point. I'm sorry about. To Sack. I love getting to chat with you in person and I absolutely loved all the hard work you put into the Bashra song. I was so grateful to hear you were on board to edit the music video. I don't remember exactly why the stream got pushed back, but I definitely wouldn't put the blame on you, knowing how soon the deadline was when you were starting to work on it. I was so thankful for your willingness to complete the project despite everything, and the quality of how it turned out was incredible. I can't believe how Red talked about you, especially after all the effort you put in for me. I'm so sorry for everything that's happened. To Cotton and Lily, I'm so sorry you had to get dragged into this. It's my fault I let it get this far, but I hope you can believe me when I say I had no knowledge of Red bringing you up in Nano's DMs. I just learned about all this myself, and there could have been so many other friends affected by the narrative that things always had to be competitive. If I knew Red was trying to exclude specific friends in this exclusivity deal, I would have spoken up. None of my friendships are worth sacrificing over an art piece. I loved being your friend and all the memories we've shared, and I hope someday you can forgive me for allowing this to happen. The Silver. Since the start, I love that I saw someone else sharing so many similar interests to me, and I thought maybe someday we could talk about it all and be good friends. I was blinded by all these hate comments calling me your lesser half. I hate the person I've become towards you. I tried reaching out some time ago to try to start a friendly conversation to change things and make things right. I say hi to you at conventions and support your endeavors, but despite all that, I was still being eaten alive by my own doubts and fears or harassment. I was pressured by the community as a whole to try reaching out to collaborate since I got these messages so often comparing us, and I hope we can work something out. The photo of me at the meet and greet was taken candidly, and I thought it looked so cute, and I posted it without asking you, which was wrong of me. I was so wrong for letting everyone get in my head about all these malicious feelings. I'm so sorry for any opportunities I've taken away from you. I'm sorry, Silver. I'm sorry I had assumed things about your design that weren't true, and I'm sorry you have been harassed by commenters needing to compare us. And I apologize the way Red spoke about you to Nano. You didn't deserve any of this, Spite. I'm sorry. To Peaches, I'm sorry if I made it seem like I was ignoring you or ghosting you. I was so happy we had an opportunity to meet in person, and I was apologetic with how busy things were for me at the time. I wanted to spend more time with you, but as I got more and more DMs and messages, everything became so overwhelming. I've always had a low social battery, and it made it so hard for me to keep up to date with all my friends. I never had any ill feelings towards you, and I still don't. To Rain, you were the first person I met as an ASMR during a time where I was immature and vulnerable. I ended up being consumed by the content I was making, and it led me to making awful decisions I still think about and regret. I was not in a good spot at the time. I've hated myself for this kind of behavior, and it took a long time for me to move on from what happened. I have no excuses. I'm sorry you were dragged into my drama, and I'm sorry how I made you feel after I just wanted to close the book on things. I'm sorry to my Pyro Pups and my mods for expecting me to lead by a better example than this. I'm sorry to the VTuber community for looking towards me as someone to aspire to. I'm sorry to Kaiser, who's put his heart and soul into everything he's ever done for me, and not even talking to you about how I felt. I'm sorry to the dozens of artists that put their hard work into me, and I'm sorry to the rest of my friends who I've let down. I've led a bad example, and I don't expect forgiveness. I've made many mistakes over my 5 years on the internet. I'm only one person living the one life I get for the first and only time, like everyone else. As I said at the start, I ended up developing an extremely unhealthy work/life balance, and the harm Red has caused the way he viewed things is irreparable. The way I've been perceiving things lately is not how I want to view the world moving forward, and this goes to show there's a lot I need to address and improve if I'm to continue being a creator. I'm devastated that the friendship so special to me may understandably never be mended again. I love my job, and I love all my friends I've had. Thank you for reading. Sinder. Well, yeah, in conclusion, I do believe it's possible that she didn't know that some of this stuff was going on because, I'm just a believer in the realm of possibility that, okay, there are some things that you probably just don't know because there are some things that your significant other just does not tell you. But there are some other problems that you had that, okay, you should have talked with them in DMs. You should have addressed it. You should have told your fan base to, hey, chill the fuck out, stop doing this shit. Like, there was a lot of things that you should have addressed. Now, with all of this out, I don't even know if you'll be able to come back from this. Maybe you have to wait another 5 years because through the 5 years you've been doing this, now you gotta wait 5 more years until everything cools down because everything is too hot for you right now. So my best solution, just to stay back and don't do anything content creating wise. That's my best solution. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy this, read this whole document, and I think this will be the last one. And if any more updates on the situation or more situations on the VTubing community, yeah, I will start addressing that. Yeah, I know I'm using a PNG thing right now, as you can see on the corner there of my a commission that I did of a Saiyan some time ago. It's the only thing that I really have, really. I don't have the money for a VTuber model, but whenever I do, I will make my own debut. But for now, I'm just going to use this because this is the best thing I got. If you enjoyed this, please comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Michael is here. Go ahead and follow me on Michael is here 01. And yeah, have a good night. Thank you.